Hi, I'm Daniel. This is Ashville and this is the Ashville fleet. Today I'm going to tell you what we have, what we use them for, the history of our fleet and what we've got planned for the future. The Ashville fleet is a diverse mixture of vehicles and plant. For vehicles, we have grab lorries, skip lorries, tipper lorries, Arctic lorries, volumetric concrete lorries, and concrete pumping lorries. Plant and machine-wise, we have a material handler, loading shovels, excavators, and forklifts. I'm going to take you through the fleet, showing you the original vehicles, the newer versions, compare the two, and I thought the best place to start was with our first lorry. This is the very first lorry within the Ashville fleet. This is an 8x4 grab lorry, which is a DAF CF85. This lorry was purchased in 2013 and is a 2009 model. Ashville Construction at the time were digging a lot of basements in southwest London. So we had the entire team in the basement digging, a conveyor belt, taking the muck out to the skip. Now we were calling other companies, telling them to come and take the muck. We need them to take the muck on a daily basis because once the skip is full, we can't actually dig anymore inside and we lose loads of time. We were struggling to get the service, and one day I just thought to myself, right, I've had enough of this, I'm going to buy a lorry, and here she is. It was around 2013 and I knew very little about lorries. Some would argue I still know very little about them today. I had a friend called Aidan at Harrier Grabs, and Aidan was kind enough to take me under his wing, explain to me everything about grab lorries, and he pointed me in the direction of DAFs because he was running a fleet of DAFs at the time. This lorry is very special to me, and I used to drive this lorry on a daily basis. And this lorry has a feature that none of the other lorries have. This lorry has a full stereo with 6x9 speakers, which actually let off some really good sound. However, I haven't put that in any of the other newer lorries. For me, a great lorry. There's plenty of space in the cab. It's a nice ride. The crane on this lorry is very fast. I'm going to show you how that works. This lorry enabled us to pull up outside jobs, take away material, and also supply material. This changed the dynamic of the company at the time. It meant we could go to quarries and we could collect the likes of sand and stone in bulk and supply ourselves at better rates. Once we became familiar with the lorry and we learned how to get the best out of it, I went back to my original thinking of why I bought it. I bought it because we couldn't get the service. At that point, I thought to myself, maybe other people can't get the service. We then went out and purchased another lorry. Because of my experiences with this lorry and my budget, we continued to buy DAFs. So we bought another 3 DAF grab lorries. My experiences with DAF lorries are limited to used lorries, which we bought, maintained, and I tried to Ashville. As you know, we brand everything. This lorry used to be white. All used lorries are going to require more maintenance than new ones. It's just the nature of HGVs and the work they do. One crucial bit of advice I want to share with anyone who's getting started: when you buy a lorry, if you want to change the color of the lorry, please do not spray the chassis. I spent a long time trying to Ashville my lorries. In doing so, I had to sandblast the entire chassis, which I thought at the time I was looking after the lorry because then it had a lovely coat of paint and I thought it would save the lorry from rust. What I actually did when I sandblasted was damage all the wires and the wiring loom down the lorry, and spent the next 2 to 3 years looking at dashboards lighting up like Christmas trees and laying underneath the lorries trying to repair cables. After running DAF lorries for a few years, I decided to make the change and I thought I would give Volvos a try. We're at a point where we had a mixed fleet of grab lorries. What's grab lorries? At this point we had a mixed fleet of grab lorries, which were Volvos and DAFs. However, being in London and working in these sort of areas, the Euro 6 emissions rules came in and it meant that none of the current Ashville fleet would have been able to go into central London without paying £100 a day in congestion charges. We were forced at this point to take a long, hard look at our fleet and decide the areas we wanted to work in. I visited a number of manufacturers and I decided moving forward we would try a different manufacturer. When we made the big leap to new lorries and Euro 6, we decided to go with Scania. This was purchased in 2018. Advantages for us of newer lorries are the manufacturer's guarantee and less maintenance. They're a Euro 6, which means they're a lot better for the environment. They burn a lot less diesel, and you can have them custom in your own colors like this. I want to touch on costs. This lorry we bought outright, we own it, but it costs us a lot of money in maintenance. This lorry, we had to put down a deposit, and you can pay for it monthly over a 3, 4, or 5 year term. On one side, we have ownership, maintenance costs, higher diesel bills, unpredictability. On this hand, we have deposits, monthly commitments, lower diesel bills, but for me, certainty. Newer lorries, while more expensive, are a better quality of life. Putting out older lorries like this on really important work and having calls saying the lorry's broken down and having clients going mad and screaming and towing the lorry back to the yard and laying underneath it at 12 o'clock at night so it can go out at 6 o'clock in the morning. While you do it when you have to, for me, the newer lorry, you sleep better at night. After running grab lorries for a while, the next vehicle we purchased was a tipper. We bought this lorry in around 2015, and it's a 2007 model. Like the other older lorries, we had to spray it and maintain it. The difference between a grab and a tipper is that a tipper does not have a crane on the back of it and has a bigger body. This is the first of our new generation Scania tippers, and we got this in 2018. This has all the same features as the new grab lorry, which I showed you a second ago. However, I've spotted something that I'd like to show you on the front of this lorry. Damage. If people in the yard and drivers aren't going to take care of the lorries, whether you buy new or old, they're not going to last very long. The client base who we were serving grabs and tippers for then began to ask us for skips. And I'm not a man who likes to say no, so we then purchased a skip lorry. We bought this lorry in 2015. When this lorry was bought, we didn't actually have enough skip work to justify buying an expensive lorry. So this did exactly what we needed it to do. I'm going to start at the front of this lorry because my videographer Tim has asked me to. Tim, give us a nod. Ah, see, what's it like to be under pressure, Tim? Ah, one take, please. Tim said to me, Daniel, the front of this lorry looks battered. Well, while the front of this lorry looks battered, I want to tell you that this lorry, these old Volvo engines are indestructible. This lorry will keep going and keep going forevermore. Again, with this lorry, we bought it, maintained, and we Ashvilled it. It was completely resprayed. I'd like to point something out. All the new lorries, the money I paid to have a London door fitted. In 2006, this lovely Volvo, the door's locked. It had the London door already. All the brand new lorries that I've bought, I've had the London door inserted so you can see cyclists and all vulnerable road users. Well, in 2006, my lovely indestructible Volvo already had that feature. Once we had grown our skip client base and the Euro 6 rules kicked in, can I present Exhibit A, which was our first in the new generation skip lorries. I'd like to say that the driver that drove this every day and looked after it is now the man who drives this every day. Well done, George.
Keep shaking. Recording.
Oh, look, lovely, a London door on my brand new Scania that only cost me £1,300 as an additional extra. Other than the obvious differences with the manufacturer, the cab, the chassis, the features, on the back of the lorry, on this old skip, we have this Mack lifting gear, which is actually still really good and really strong. But on this new skip lorry, we have Hiver gear, which actually comes with remote controls and other cool features. I did a little test with these two lorries. I put both of them out with the same amount of jobs each day. This lorry burnt £40 of diesel more a day than this one. We calculated in a month a saving of £800 with the newer lorry. We're running grabs very well, if I do say so myself. Tippers the same and skips the same. But a new problem arose. In central London, in small muses, grab lorries just couldn't fit in and out. Cue baby grab. This lorry was bought in 2016 and is a DAF. Now at the time, we weren't actually buying DAFs, we were buying Volvos. However, these lorries are really hard to come by, so this was the only one I could get hold of. The Baby Grab can do everything that Big Grab can do, except it's a lot smaller. It's basically the size of a skip lorry. This is used to do jobs where waste needs to be taken away or materials need to be delivered and access is limited. With the new emission rules, we needed ourselves a nice Euro 6 Baby Grab. When out on the road, these lorries do exactly the same work. We have this one in low emission areas like central London, and this one stays out locally and does all the work here. We're running two size grab lorries, tippers and skips. Every site we go to, everyone says, the concrete lorry's here, you can't do this. The concrete lorry's there, you can't do that. We're waiting for the concrete lorry. So what do? The concrete lorries may look very similar to the grabs and tippers as they have the same 8x4 chassis. However, this chassis is upgraded. It has a working weight of 43 tons. However, with new regulations, we can only run at 38.5. We bought our volumetric concrete mixers in 2017. Now, I don't have an older lorry to compare this against because this is the first one we had, but I can tell you I'm very happy with it. To see how these volumetric concrete mixers work, click here. We have two size grabs, tippers, skip lorries, and volumetric concrete lorries working. Now, we arrive at site and there's another problem. You can't pump any concrete. The pump isn't here. The pump isn't here yet. We're waiting for the pump. The pump is broken down. So what do? This is our concrete pumping lorry that we bought at the end of 2017. Now you can see that this is a Volvo and we've been buying a lot of Scanias. The reason for a Volvo is Scania don't do a 12-ton chassis and this is a 12-tonner. We have the pumping equipment on the back. On this side, we keep the metal pipes. On that side, we keep the rubber pipes. And we also have a compressor and a hose to wash off. Tell me why, when we're moving material, there's a piece of wood in here. Why would there be a piece of wood in the back of the lorry when we're supposed to be moving material? I thought to myself, with two size grabs, tippers, skips, volumetric concrete lorries, and pumps, we were the masters of our own destiny. Well, clearly not, because we were trying to do haulage work with a lot of other larger firms, and they said, we can't do haulage on tippers because of contamination, and it ran muck before, and now it can't run material. So what do? We got ourselves an Arctic. We bought our tractor units in tipping trailers in 2019. This coincided with us opening the railhead so we could deliver materials in larger quantities and do haulage for other firms. If you want to see an in-depth review of this vehicle, click here. My thinking behind the Ashville fleet has always been to create a one-stop shop for all our clients within the construction industry. I also try to make sure that we can be as versatile and responsive as possible. Let's talk about number plates. I'm going to start with a pump lorry. I don't think I need to go into any detail on this, it's self-explanatory. Volumetric concrete lorry, AS14 Con, Ashville Concrete. Baby Grab, AS14 Bay, Ashville Baby Grab. AS14 SKP, Ashville Skip. AS14 MUC, Ashville Muck, because we shift muck in these tippers. AS11 HGV, Ashville HGV. AS14 Rock, Ashville Rock, because we sell crushed rock. AS14 MOT, Ashville MOT, because we sell Type 1 MOT. AS17 MUD and AS19 MUD, Ashville Mud. AS14 OPR, Ashville, and it's meant to say QPR. In case you didn't know, Ashville are proud sponsors of Queen's Park Rangers Football Club. AS19 MUK, W60 OPR, we go QPR. AS11 MUM, Ashville Mum, a tribute to all the ladies at Ashville that are mothers. AS17 MUK, AS11 CON, Ashville Concrete. AS14 MUK, AS14 HGV, AS14 RMC, Ashville Ready Mix Concrete, AS14 MUD, Ashville Mud. What's in the pipeline? So we have quite a few lorries on order from Scania. The first being a hook loader, which also has a material handler crane on it. 2 sleeper cab grab lorries, 1 grab lorry with an L cab, which has a 5-star vision rating, 1 skip lorry, which is exactly the same as the one you've seen here today, 1 additional tractor unit, which is actually on a construction chassis and is a 6x4 axle configuration, a double-sized skip lorry, which is actually a 6x2 with rear steer, and 10 more tippers, half of which have the new L cab for 5-star vision. Currently, we've only let 3 lorries go. These were 3 2007 DAF Grab Lorries. Once the emissions regulations came in, with most of our work being in central London, we didn't have enough work to keep those busy with these new lorries on the fleet. So I've shown you all the different types of lorries and given you some history. Now I'm going to show you the machines. We use machines in the yard for everything, whether it be bagging material, loading lorries, or offloading trains. I'm going to start with this 2.5 ton JCB forklift. Now this is a 2007 model. We bought this machine in 2019 when we started bagging aggregates. This is a 2012 Caterpillar 308D excavator. This is an 8-ton machine which we use around the yard for sorting out smaller bits of material and cleaning up. We bought this machine in 2016 and at the time it was adequate to serve our needs. This 2016 Liebherr R926 excavator was bought in 2018 when the Cat machine could no longer keep up with the volume of work we were doing. We used this for everything in the yard, from moving material to loading lorries. We bought this 2015 Liebherr L566 in 2019. We bought this as the machines were going out on Ashville jobs doing large-scale excavations and muck shifting, and we were left with nothing in the yard to work with. The loading shovels actually gave us a new dynamic in the yard, and we found loaded the lorries a lot quicker. This is a 2016 Liebherr L586. We got this at the beginning of 2020. We realised when the trains came in with the deliveries, if it was over in the rail yard, it would be stuck there and we had nothing in the main yard. So we bought a new machine so we could keep one in the main yard and one in the rail yard. To see a review of these 2 machines, click here. This is a Liebherr LH60 material handler. Now this is brand new and the only machine that we've ever bought brand new. We bought this to help us offload the trains. Click here to see the delivery of this machine into this yard. That's it, we've shown you everything in the Ashville fleet. To summarise, we have 7 full-size grab lorries, 2 baby grabs, we have 3 skip lorries, 16 full-size tippers, we have 3 volumetrics, we have 1 concrete pumping lorry, and we have 2 tractor units with tipping trailers. Moving on to the machines, we have 1 2.5 ton forklift, we have 1 8-ton digger, we have a 26-ton digger, we have a 24-ton loading shovel, we have a 34-ton loading shovel, and we have this, a 60-ton material handler. Thanks for watching. Let us know what you think of the Ashville fleet. Also, please let me know any vehicles you think would work well for us. Click here for the Ashville website. Click here to subscribe to our channel. Click here to see a full review playlist and click here to see delivery of our LH60. Yeah? Mate, you know this is the worst colour to be wearing in the sun. I am roasted, man. I am dying.